I pulled off the highway right as the sun started bleeding out behind those old redwoods, that low gold light making the whole stretch of hills look soft and unreal. Almost like coming home to a memory you only half trust, you know? I hadn't been back in over a year, thought I was escaping. But there I was, California dirt in my shoes again, with nothing but the hum of the engine and a stupid grin on my face, thinking I'd missed the sound of my own damn kitchen faucet. The job in Zurich had wrapped up early, and instead of warning anyone, not the property manager, not even my friends, I just booked a ticket, picked up a rental at SFO, and drove north in silence. I didn't play any music, didn't call anybody, just white noise and nerves, thinking about what I'd find. And let me tell you, I found something all right. I eased onto the old gravel road. Private, not much more than a suggestion of a driveway, really, and there was this glint of chrome. A silver Lexus, just sitting there by my gate, pointed like it belonged. Vanity plate, Karen 1. I actually barked out a laugh, because come on, that has to be a joke, right? Except then I looked at the gate, my custom wrought iron, the one I'd sketched on a napkin in grad school, MH right there in the scrollwork, except now the monogram was gone. In its place, a shiny brass plaque, Bradshaw Estate. I leaned out the window, blinking. Had to be some kind of mistake. But as I crept past new hedges, perfect little suburban shapes that had definitely not been there before, white trellis, beds of tulips straight out of a catalog, my hands started sweating on the wheel. This wasn't just a little touch-up. This was a damn home makeover. I parked, got out, walked up to the door, trying to convince myself maybe the management company had gone rogue, decided to pretty the place up for resale, or maybe someone subletting just got a little enthusiastic. But before I could even knock, the door swings open. This woman standing there, silk robe, towel on her head, champagne glass dangling like she was born leaning on door frames. She gives me this once-over, eyebrow cocked. "Can I help you?" Real smug, like I'm the one making trouble. I say, "Yeah, you can. This is my house." She lets out this little condescending laugh and tilts her head. "I think you're confused. This is private property." "Oh, you have no idea, lady. This is my private property. Michael Harrison. I own this house." And for a second, I swear I see something. Panic, maybe, flash behind her eyes, but it's gone so fast I almost doubt it was there. She just takes a sip, shrugs. "I've lived here almost a year. I think I'd know who owns it." I fire back, "You've lived here illegally. I never sold, never rented, never authorized jack. Unless you're about to show me a lease with my name on it. You're trespassing." She stiffens. "I'm going to ask you to leave before I call the police." I'm so mad, I spit out. "I am the police." "Not true, but whatever. Go ahead and call, actually. I'd love to see their faces when they pull up the deed." She turns on her heel, muttering about crazy people, and I just stand there on the porch, taking in the disaster. My place looked like Instagram vomited. Chandeliers, pastel velvet couches where my leather used to be, all my artwork replaced with motivational quotes in gilded frames. "Own the space you deserve." Even the windows felt smaller, the rooms too clean, like someone had tried to stage an architect's house for a wine influencer's TikTok tour. Before I could even get mad, a sheriff's cruiser pulls up, siren blip, door opens. Young guy, clean-shaven, maybe 30, walks over and says, "Sir, I'm going to need you to step back from the door." I say, "She broke into my house. My name's Michael Harrison, deeds in my name." She's squatting. Behind me, Karen pipes up, "He's unstable. I've never seen this man in my life." Classic. The deputy takes both our IDs. She hands over some crumpled PDF with her name and what looks like a gold star sticker. 10 minutes in his cruiser. Then he comes back and gives me my license. "Sir, your name matches the deed. But without a court order, we can't remove someone claiming to be a resident. This is civil court stuff. Recommend you contact an attorney." "You've got to be kidding." Karen smirks, and I have to step away before I snap. I get in the car, drive straight to the nearest motel, and spend all night tearing through records, management contracts, tax returns, anything. For in the morning, surrounded by coffee cups and paranoia, I stumble onto her Instagram. Her, in my hot tub, with the caption, "Manifestation works, ladies. My sanctuary." I almost put my head through the drywall. Turns out, she'd claimed my house online for months. Photos, stories, wellness events, ladies' retreats. This wasn't just squatting, It was identity theft. I called a lawyer, Mia Sandoval, sharp as broken glass. By that afternoon, she'd filed an emergency injunction to freeze Karen's claims and prepped a lawsuit for fraud, damages, and unlawful occupancy. But Karen had already posted new signs on my fence: private property, Bradshaw estate, and insult to injury, an HOA warning about trespassing. Except my lot wasn't even in the HOA. I'd picked it to dodge their nonsense. Now suddenly, I'm public enemy number one. So I go to the HOA office, tucked next to a frozen yogurt place, because of course, and demand to see the president. Desk lady? That would be Miss Bradshaw. Unbelievable. Turns out, after my management company folded, Karen called the HOA, claimed I was dead or missing, filed bogus abandonment paperwork, and presented a restoration plan to become temporary steward. They lapped it up. She even cited made-up HOA bylaws, claiming eminent domain or some such garbage. That's not even a real law. I snap. She just smiles, hands folded like I'm a particularly dumb child. Back at the motel, Mia's already 3 steps ahead. These kinds of HOAs love loopholes, but they have zero legal authority unless it's in your title. You're clean. Then, curveball. Karen's lawyer files a claim for substantial improvements. She wants me to pay for her upgrades if she gets kicked out. I almost faint. Mia shrugs. If she convinces a judge she acted in good faith, it slows everything down. So I pull up her TikTok, find a clip of her telling a contractor, "No, I don't own it. Yet, but it's basically mine. Dude lives in Europe." I send it to Mia. "That's your smoking gun," she says, smiling for the first time. "But neighbors?" Nobody wants to talk. "She's on the board," one guy whispers. Things get messy. Even the yoga teacher next door, Cheryl, looks spooked. Turns out Karen had threatened and bribed neighbors with bogus fines and promised favors if they played along. She'd even faked up a paper trail inside the HOA's own system, backdated violation notices, fake photos, the works. She was painting herself as the responsible savior, me as the absentee slob. It was evil, but hell, it was effective. Then, out of nowhere, I get an anonymous envelope, screenshots of emails, Karen instructing the board to fabricate a compliance narrative. She listed which neighbors to pressure, which words to use: excessive vegetation, community risk factor. She was running a con, but she was sloppy, too high on her own supply. She left evidence everywhere. I send it to Mia. The next day, one of the more nervous board members, Susan, asks to meet at a diner. She slides over text messages where Karen brags about making my house TikTok ready, calls the other board members sheep, and jokes about burying me in paperwork. Susan's voice shakes. She scared us. We thought she was right. "I'm sorry. We file everything." Mia subpoenas the board, forces them to cough up their emails, makes them sit for depositions at the courthouse. 3 days of sweaty palms and eye dodging. Susan cracks under oath, admits nobody ever checked my property before filing violations, says Karen handled everything personally. Treasurer Tony tries to play dumb, but Mia reads out an email where he says, "Go for it. Just CC me on the paperwork." It's a circus, but the more they talk, the more it unravels. I drive by the house one evening, and through the fence, I see string lights, a sequin tablecloth, a dolphin statue by a koi pond, which I never had, and Karen doing a selfie spin, floppy hat, yoga pants, grinning for her followers. I leave before she sees me. The next day, we get her counterclaim. She's suing me for $78,000, itemized for things like spiritual landscaping and community brand alignment. I think it's a joke. Mia does not. If she convinces the judge she acted in good faith, we're in for a fight. But that TikTok clip, her admitting she knew I was alive and in Europe, was our ace. But Karen wasn't done. She hosts another wellness soiree in my backyard, her followers still believing the story. Then, finally, someone cracks. Pam, a neighbor, uploads a clip, her in front of my fence, pointing at it like a lawyer. That woman never owned this house. She lied to all of us, threatened us. This needs to stop. It goes viral. Suddenly, hashtag Karen Bradshaw exposed is trending. Her own community turns, furious over fake retreats and missing deposits. Even a contractor comes forward, says Karen stiffed him and has texts showing her plans to flip the house or lock down ownership. Mia bundles everything for the judge. Hearing day comes, courtrooms packed, neighbors, press, even TikTokers. Karen shows up in wrinkled sweats, no makeup, like the air's gone out of her whole act. Her new public defender has nothing. The judge calls her conduct systematic, deliberate, and dripping with entitlement. Orders her to pay damages, legal costs, vacate permanently, and, my personal favorite, write a public apology. She avoids jail, but that's about it. That week, I walk through my own front door, incense still hanging in the air, but it's my house again. I throw a barbecue that Saturday. Everybody comes. Even Susan brings banana bread. Someone hands me an envelope. Offer to join the new HOA board as president. I toss it into the fire pit and raise my beer. But here's the thing. You ever really win with people like Karen? Or do you just outlast them? She vanished after the hearing, left behind chaos and some ugly lawn ornaments. But my house is mine again, for now. Maybe next time someone shows up with a Lexus and a smile, I'll just lock the gate, go out for tacos, and let the universe sort it out. So what do you think? Is this justice, or just another round in the never-ending game of community power grabs? Drop your stories, call out your local HOAs, and let me know if you think there's ever really a way to keep the Karens of the world from turning your life upside down. Because if I've learned anything, it's this. Paperwork matters, but sometimes a little public sunlight works even better.